Learn the latest news surrounding Lewandowski, Gnarby, Ronaldo, Neymar, Raphinha, and Broja as well too. We have a ton of things to break down and discuss. I'm not spending too much time with this intro, but one quick thing I will say is hit that like button. Let's get 3k likes, and of course, if you're planning on buying the new home season kit, I am your guy. Now my shirt finally arrived today, and you might be thinking, okay, if you're selling me the shirt, why aren't you modeling it for me right now? You guys, it's so hot in London that I'm keeping this shirt for when Raheem Sterling gets announced. That's what the plan is. That's what the rules are. I'm not going to get this sweaty and wash it again. Nah, absolutely not. So if this is something you need to add to your collection, you'll find links below. And of course, if you use my 10% discount codes, Nini10, obviously 10% off your final order. So what are you guys waiting for? I'm here to hook you up without wasting any more time. So right now, let's talk Raheem Sterling. Yes, I lied. I didn't mention Sterling in the intro, but you're probably wondering, when will Sterling finally get announced? From what I'm hearing, it comes down to two things now. Number one, our media team is already in America. And number two, Sterling is flying out tomorrow. And the flight is going to be at least like, what, 10, 11 hours before he even arrives. Our first training session takes place on Wednesday. It makes more sense for Sterling to take part in that and do all those duties around that day. So it seems like Wednesday is going to be that day he is officially announced. So you guys bookmark Wednesday because I have so much content on Sterling that you guys can't afford to miss. So right now, we move on to the next story. So right now, we move on to the next report and let's talk Ronaldo, let's talk Neymar, and let's talk Lewandowski. I can't believe I'm mentioning all their names in a video like this without it being like some shameless clickbait or some just like disgusting lie from like the worst media sources in the world. But this window, it doesn't make as much sense. So let's break things down, starting with Cristiano Ronaldo. Earlier today, Ten Hag said publicly in a press statement that Ronaldo won't be leaving and Man United don't want to sell. Now for me, this is obviously the thing they're going to say. When your legends who literally came back to the club after how many years away, is publicly talking to his agent and revealing his plans to want to leave the club. You're essentially broadcasting and marketing the fact that we are a sinking ship. You won't win anything here. Ronaldo sees no hope. There's no hope with the structures, the strategies, and how's it going to entice you to sign better players to improve your position? It's not going to work. So they can't do anything to sell Ronaldo, even though Ronaldo and Jorge Mendes, of course, have been talking to many clubs, talking to many owners, and are pushing themselves for moves away from Man United. But ultimately it comes down to something that I always suspected would be the case in reality, and that's the fact that Thomas Tuchel doesn't really see a role or use for him. Tuchel doesn't really see the need now for like traditional number 9s, and I feel like Ronaldo is that typical number 9 in today's football. I mean, he doesn't press, he relies upon a lot of service. And it seems like, based on reports coming out from England, the plan for next season could be to go to a 4-3-3. On the left hand side, you have your goal scoring winger. Up front, Havertz playing that Firmino role, you know, the guy that links up the players well. And on the right hand side, you know, the guy that's a 1v1 specialist. That brings a lot of possibilities. Knowing the fact too that you have goal scoring midfield players behind you in Mason Mount and Conor Gallagher, I'm praying I'm seeing this type of attacking football next season, boys. I got to be real with you. But realistically, I could only see Ronaldo making sense on the left-hand side, but we've just signed Raheem Sterling, so that makes no sense right now. I agree with Tuchel. You know, Ronaldo's a legend, but right now for us, he just is not that best fit. So we now move on to Neymar. Tuchel has a bit of a similar reaction to Neymar that he has to Ronaldo. However, it's not exactly the same, and his stance could most definitely change as the window goes on. Now that we're not signing Raphinha, and I'll talk about him in the video later on, we do need that 1v1 specialist. If we could get Neymar on loan, if specific opportunities open themselves up, could I say no to Neymar on loan? There have been reports that Paris Saint-Germain would be open to allowing him to leave on loan, but at the same time, Gauthier, the new manager, is saying that he sees Neymar as his number 10 because the guy is absolutely world class. So I'm still not quite confident with that one, even though there has been talks and discussions with the players' camp. This now takes us to Lewandowski, and out of all these legends, Lewandowski would be the most realistic option we could potentially sign. Number one, we've known for a while now that Tuchel is an absolute fan. Even before Lukaku signed last season, Tuchel of course brought up the possibility of whether we could actually sign Lewandowski and whether he was open in the window last season. That wasn't the case, but right now Lewandowski wants a new challenge, he wants to go. He's been dying to move to Barcelona, but after agreeing a 3-year deal, Nothing's come from that. Barcelona are still in a very precarious situation. They're focusing more on priorities right now. Signing Raphinha, getting Dembele to agree to a new deal as well too. They can't move on Frankie de Jong, and they owe the guy a lot of money as well too. So realistically, this could take a very long time for them to be able to raise those 40 million funds up front to present to Bayern Munich, because that seems to be the only way Bayern are looking to do business in this window. So this now brings a very unique possibility for us, and also now for Paris Saint-Germain, who are also showing some interest in Lewandowski. Now, you might be wondering, Nini, where are these Lewandowski reports coming from? They came from Miguel Delaney from The Independent, and he reports that we are already trying to make a move to sign the player. Now, if you guys remember a video I did maybe a few weeks back or last month, I spoke about this very interesting report from Germany in which it showed that Bayern Munich would be open potentially to allowing Lewandowski to leave on loan if the player decided first to agree to a contract extension, I guess, to just boost his value as well, and a loan deal, of course, to take him off that wage bill over a season. That was seen as something that could be quite hard to achieve, but a lot of that came down to whether Barcelona would be able to complete this move in the end. I can't sit here and be like, I don't know if Barcelona can do that, because I thought the same thing over Ousmane Dembele and Raphinha, but with institutions like this, they're forever able to find ways to game the system and able to do things to help themselves. So I'm not even too sure about that. But I guess the fact that if Barcelona weren't able to get a deal done, let's say Xavi's like, listen, I have Aubameyang, I've got Ferran Torres, I've got Dembele, Raphinha, maybe I don't need a striker, and maybe we should prioritize a defender or a midfield player. I think that could be more realistic. And then Lewandowski becomes a very interesting opportunity in the market because he's a lot more mobile, a lot better off the ball, and I think he would definitely suit how we play under Thomas Tuchel. So what do you guys think? If Lewandowski could get run, should we be signing this guy up? Let us know below. So right now it's time to turn our attentions to the latest news surrounding Gnabry of Bayern Munich. Now this story comes from Simon Phillips. Of course, he has his his website, an online Twitter journalist. He has a good reputation as well too, and has a lot of good sources and links around him. So this is why I'm reporting this story, because throughout the summer in particular, a lot of stories he's coming with are being proven in the end. So I got to show some respect, man. And essentially he's saying that Bayern Munich directors held talks with us a few weeks back, naturally as these guys do, just talking about players and the possibility to sign people, etc, etc. Consider the fact that we've already spoken to Bayern a few weeks back over Lewandowski. I feel like this makes even more sense. And obviously, if you're talking to the director of Bayern Munich, you're not going to talk to him about just one player exclusively. And with someone like Gnabry, who only has 1 year left in his deal at this point in time, there's some uncertainty to the fact as whether he might sign a contract extension or not. It makes sense knowing that we need to sign a right winger, that he could be an option to look towards. So Gnabry is definitely a player I like. Maybe I might sound a little bit controversial, but I look at Gnabry as like a complete winger in that sense. He's got that goal threat. He's got a left foot, right foot. He can shoot and score with both feet, with a ton of power as well too. He's very explosive. I think he's got very good upper body strength, but in terms of that explosiveness he brings, he can explode in any direction, skip past a man straight away, and he becomes like a really good ball carrier, which can be very good for creating space for your teammates and creating threat on the counter-attack. I think that's what Gnabry's very good at. Now, for me, I say he's complete because he can beat his man, he can assist, and he can score. I think he prefers to score more though, and I think that, let's say you had Gnabry or Sterling, you'd only sign one. I think Gnabry could be maybe a more interesting goal-scoring winger, based on the fact that he has maybe a few more things in this game and in his locker room that could help you throughout many difficult games in the Premier League. But regardless though, Sterling's still a decent sign in my opinion. Now, would Gnabry be interested to sign for us? Currently, he has turned down a 200,000 a week contract from Bayern Munich, and you'd imagine that if you're signing someone like him, he wants between 250 to at least 300,000 a week. So he's going to be very expensive. You're probably spending at least between, a similar fee for Raheem Sterling to sign him as well. But at the same time, he can play literally all across the front three. Up front, on the left, on the right, and then behind as well too. And for the national team, he's even played as a wing back at times too, and he played really well playing as a wing back. So if Tuchel had any ideas of doing that asymmetrical 4-1-4-1 system, Gnabry would make sense there. And when I see him play for Bayern, especially his willingness to drop deeper to receive from the centre backs and the full backs, He has that half-turn ability alongside that 1v1 threat and the explosiveness to literally kickstart defense into attack. So you could see how he could possibly do something as a wing back too. It's interesting. I feel like let's see what happens. Obviously, we'll be in the market for someone in attack. We need options now that we've lost out on Dembele and Raphinha too. So you guys in the comment section, how do you feel about Gnabry as a potential option? So right now it's time to discuss Armando Broja. Reports are intensifying that West Ham now are starting to advance their talks now and may be coming in quite soon with the bids to try and sign the player. Currently West Ham, Newcastle and Everton are all showing interest. However, Broja would prefer a move to West Ham based on the fact that they're in London and he prefers to remain in London. West Ham have needed a striker for a very long time. They're in the market for many options, but Broja is the #1 guy ideally they want to bring. We don't know whether at this point in time that may be involving a loan fee or actually like a full transfer. And if that is the case, it seems like bids of over 30 million could be enough for us to sell them. But a lot of reports now from multiple outlets in this country are suggesting that there is a potential willingness now to sell the player. And that's something I alluded to you guys back during the early start of this year when Southampton, when they had the new Serbian guy investing a ton of money into the club. That's when they first started talks to try and sign him. And since then, many other clubs have shown interest in the player's services. So you can understand why he wants real concrete assurances that he is going to get game time. When you know that the club are actively looking for attacking players, they kind of possess some already and they're not really giving a much, faith or assurance to these guys to use them, then naturally you're going to have some doubts. And on top of this, Broja might be feeling, I've seen so many number 9s here not do anything under Tuchel. You're looking at Lukaku, you're looking at Giroud, Tammy. So many examples of players that haven't really gone on. Maybe Tuchel's system just doesn't suit number 9 strikers like this. Yeah, you have to play towards their strengths and use them in those ways. And I'm not too sure if you have, goal-scoring wingers, 1v1 specialists, and like Havertz, for example, how you're exactly going to get those minutes in game time. So maybe this is explaining why there's a potential openness and willingness now to sell the player on a permanent deal. So we have to see what happens, you guys. And to end things, let's end things with the depressing report today, and let's talk about Raphinha. Now, there's a reason why I left this story right for the end. Honestly, you guys, I got no time for it at all. Barcelona in the end have found a way to be able to reach an agreement with Leeds. Now, my thinking is this. Leeds, if their strategy is about signing players like Raphinha's, players that you can get for a low value that you can flip for like 3-4 times the value in the future, you don't want to put out that message that once you achieve that for us, once we get a massive bid for you, we may potentially halt your future by only selling you to the highest bidder and not the club that's best for you. If that's the case, you'd imagine that a lot of players might not be as interested to sign for Leeds. So I kind of see it in that way as well too, that they have to find that happy medium between all parties involved in this deal. And Barcelona have reached that agreement. It seems like they're now matching the money that Leeds have said from day one, you have to match that Chelsea put forward first. And if they did that, then we knew that Raphinha would be signing for them. He's taken a big wage cut moving to Barcelona. He's earning around 60k a week for Leeds. Some reports are saying that he'll be earning 35,000 a week at Barcelona. So it's just like the amount of love and dedication to literally achieve his dream. I can't be mad with the player. Honestly, I'm not going to be bitter about things. But for me, I think there's maybe a separate conversation in the video to have about our pull power and our PR power in world football, because you're looking at Raphinha, you're looking at De Ligt currently. A lot of these guys don't really see us as a strong option to go to, and I think that's quite bad, and I'm hoping that's something that Todd Boehly can improve upon us over the years under his era. But of course, Raphinha in the end got his way. Barcelona are getting their player alongside Ousmane Dembele, and Leeds are getting the money too, with at least 55-60 mil up front with add-ons on top that will be paid off in installments, of course, being the middle ground, of course, to let this deal go through. So there you have it, you guys. I guess I'll have to talk about potential options in the right wing position in a video later this week, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And on that note, I'm the FC, this is BlueLionsTV. Catch you guys there with some more videos. Cool.